How it started, I don't know what you did. Now I'm the gal that's chasing you up. Flip my lid, come here, eager beaver, baby.
Hello and welcome to
Was That an Orgy? Woo!
starring Charlene and Teresa Bawd, two sisters that explore the topics of sex, sexuality, gender, and sex positivity. We will also try to answer the question, was that an orgy? Oh, you don't have
There's
lipstick
still
on your
time.
teeth either.
Oh, hi,
my God.
everybody. We're live.
Okay, and we don't have lipstick on our teeth. We just
don't.
established that.
Not yet.
Not yet. Let me see if I can do it. All right.
Show's young.
Gnashing of the teeth.
Yeah.
So,
So, how was your
Twat?
weekend?
Twat. It was fun. I went skiing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay. My friend wants to go skiing with us, by the way. My friend Reed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would totally go skiing.
Yeah.
So because I have such a horrible, horrible fear of heights, skiing is both challenging and fun and exciting.
Because you
So-
love the ski lift.
The ski lift is my favorite thing in the world.
My God.
My glurb. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. And especially when they stop it and you're just like swinging
Dangling there. Getting cold.
So I really won't do the ski lift alone. Like I really need a buddy
Yeah.
to be on this. I've actually asked a stranger to sit with me during
distract
COVID
you?
times to distract me.
Or
Because,
hold your hand.
no, just to distract me.
Hold your breath.
I didn't
hold
need
my gland.
that.
Yeah,
That
that would
might
help.
have been comforting,
Yeah.
actually.
Nice and distracting from all
Yeah,
the.
totally. But it was like really good. I didn't fall like a lot. It was really slushy.
You didn't fall while you were skiing?
I didn't fall at all. No.
Oh my God, you're good.
I'm getting better.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting much better at it.
I'm thinking about going back to skiing because, I tried the snowboard, the Solomon one from the Adidas sale.
Yeah.
And it's just really challenging because, after being raised with you skiing,
Yeah.
going from like 2 legs and 2 poles to keep you up to like
Yeah.
nothing but your sense of balance and your focus, which we know I have very little of that. Squirrel. Oh, smack. And it's just like, I call snowboarding the way I do it is falling down a mountain
Me too.
and being pimp slapped in the face with this fucking mountainside. Like when you fall snowboarding, it's like, sometimes it's so brutal. It just like
Yeah.
flips you like
Yeah.
face plant.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Like if
Oh.
you catch the front edge or something like that.
Yeah.
That's why I went back to skiing. I tried snowboarding for a few years and I just never got as good as I was at skiing
Yeah.
because I just feel like with skiing you have so much more control, or at least I have so much more control because I learned it as a child.
Exactly.
And I think it's just in my body and it's just way easier for me to do. And I still have to think about it, but I don't have to think as hard.
Yeah.
Snowboarding is just like, okay, no, and I turn and I have to, lean my weight back and
and
I'm falling. Ah!
And the
Yeah.
biggest problem for both of us is on a snowboard, you can't spread your legs.
Oh my God.
I know. What fun is that?
How am I going to get the D when I'm on a snowboard? If I can't spread
Exactly.
I guess I could open my mouth.
Yeah,
Get
that's true.
Get some D
Sounds
that
very
way.
dangerous.
Flying
Yeah,
D.
skiing, snowing, and blowing
I'll just
all
be
together.
going down the mountain like this.
Taking in your snowmen one at a time. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All of that.
How was your not birthday weekend? What the hell?
I know. We were gonna rent a beach house, me and a bunch of friends, just to catch everybody else up. And one of our friends got COVID that we'd seen, the Friday before. So no beach house for
Wah.
me and 20 of my closest friends. Damn you,
We'll do it.
COVID.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, redo.
You get a full.
I get a
redo for
do-over.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. We're
I
not
know,
going to
so-
skimp on this one.
So that didn't happen. And gosh, I haven't been sleeping well. So I'm trying to remember, I don't think much eventful happened this weekend. I'm probably going to hurt someone's feelings with that. Oh yeah, bitch, we hung out. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But
Well, I thought it was special to me.
yeah, I'm sure it was. But, sorry, sucker.
You're like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm exceptionally good and forgetful.
Very forgetful. It's a lethal combination. But yeah, I don't remember what I did. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all right. We can move on from that.
Yeah,
You know, like,
exactly.
sometimes it's good to not remember. That just means that it was maybe relaxing.
I was in the moment then. I'm in the
Yes.
moment now. It's
Oh.
how I roll, dog.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
At least we have video evidence of whatever you say and do here, so you can't
That's
forget it.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. I can, yes. I can
Yeah.
have recall from this. But yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
today, everybody, we don't have any special guests except for Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Who I'm giving a hand job to right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
And
That
now he's
reminds me of my
flying.
ghost joke that I wrote. What do you call it when a bunch of ghosts come on your face?
What?
Boo! Cocky.
Yay!
Yeah. I was proud of that one.
That was so good.
There's a sketch comedy that has to be done in that too, you
Totally.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, you know, you could just be laying back and have a bunch of people like off screen with squirting conditioner on your face.
Oh my God.
You know? Yeah. I haven't worked it all the way out yet.
Casper the really friendly ghost?
Yeah, the super friendly
Extra
ghost.
friendly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Casper the slutty ghost.
Yeah. So because we only have Casper the ghost, we have your questions that we've been compiling. And of course, anyone who writes in today, we will prioritize your questions and we will bring you in first, and you will get to bump all these other people aside because they sat back and sent us an email.
Exactly. So you get to bump their uglies. Yeah. So
and we
now,
get to watch.
now you know, Michael, Mr. Producer, we're going to take live questions if any come through. So
He'll let us know.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Thanks.
He'll turn on our screen.
Yeah, I started reading the questions. I didn't. I was naughty today.
That's okay.
I was obsessed with a side project. But you're caught up on all of them. So do you want to start with like reading? Read me a story.
I love this first question because you and I can both have opinions about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can have very differing opinions about it. Michael could have an opinion about it too.
Yeah.
Even Jazz could.
My opinion probably is it's usually not much of an opinion as much as it's followed by more questions.
Oh, no, this one's going to be an opinion.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So my wife and I are discussing ethical non-monogamy.
Mm-hmm. Is this a male, by the way?
Yes.
A male and a female?
Yep,
okay.
A male and a female. They have only been together. They were virgins when they got married. They've only been with each other. And they've been together for they don't say how long they've been together, but they've been together a long time, I assume. This man is worried that even though he's enough for his wife, that he may not be for other people. How much does size matter?
Oh.
This is the age-old question.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say it does and it doesn't.
I would agree with that. And it depends on who's taking the D.
Yeah. So I think that not to give you something else to worry about, but I would be more worried about the fact that maybe you've, have been just with one person and that maybe you guys have really specific things that you do together and that a new lover is going to want totally different things. And so I would just say, I would say, don't worry so much about your penis. Your penis is probably going to be great and will do whatever he wants to do and will be connected to your mind, hopefully. And if you're responding positively in your mind, hopefully he's responding in however he feels like responding down there. But I would say to just really make sure that you're tuning into your new partner, whoever they are, and to really, make sure that you're, seeing this new person and their desires and what your desires are with them, and really just exploring that with them instead of being really self-conscious about what your body may or may not be doing or if it's good enough or anything like that. Yeah. Chances are it's probably going to be great. And, whoever it is going to be delighted with you and your penis.
Yeah. And if it's like people weed themselves out. And that's part of the hardest part about like the dating process or the opening up process is just facing all the unknowns, which people don't like. And so you got to kiss toads. And sometimes you're going to kiss some Grand Canyon vaginas. And then maybe those people will be like, sorry, but your dick's too small. And then they'll just weed themselves out. Yeah. But then, I think that for the majority of the people I know, it's really about chemistry and connection. And that, it's challenging even if you haven't been with one person for, what'd you say, 20 years?
They didn't specifically say, but they said a long time.
Okay, gotcha.
That's all I got.
Yeah. I do think that it's like that even with regular single people where every time you get with someone, I think it's really important to communicate because we all like certain things certain ways. And it's just wonderful even to explore. That's one of the good parts about being with someone new is that you can explore again.
Yeah.
And one of the hard parts about monogamous relationships sometimes can be that, like, you kind of get into routines with one another and you stop exploring. So even though it comes with like a veil of, fear and neuroses, it can be a wonderful thing that enlivens your life again. So yeah. I mean, I'm terrified of it, but
well, you definitely should not be terrified.
Yeah, you
at
shouldn't
all.
be.
Yeah.
It's an irrational fear that gets in our way, like most fears. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like being afraid while you're sitting on a chairlift and you're perfectly safe.
Yeah,
nothing bad's gonna happen. Yeah.
I mean, I know that like there's a lot of joking around in our society about big dick, but most women and even men that I know, tend to feel like that's not the most important thing. And I think a lot of people that are afraid that they have small penises, if they have multiple, they're usually pretty average.
Yeah. I think that's part of it too, is like a lot of what we see in media, aka porn, and stuff like that, or like if they show a guy jogging in gray sweatpants, it's usually going to be a guy with a big dick.
Yeah, it's going to be a hog swing.
Yeah, so you're thinking, oh, well, 8.5 inches is normal, and that's not normal. Or it's not that it's not normal, that's not average.
Yeah.
Average is much smaller than that. If you go to a sex shop, they're going to have a 5-inch cock, a 6-inch cock, a 7, an 8, and all that stuff. And most people are going to fall around 5, 6, something like that.
And don't you think most of women's sex toys, since we're kind of talking about man to woman, most women's sex toys are not about the size of the dildo. They're about the vibration the rabbit makes.
Well, this is true. So how fast can you go? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, how fast can you go? Yeah. It's really, I mean, the majority, I would say, of women's orgasms is because of the clitoris. The majority. It's a huge part of it. So that's maybe just physically, anatomically, that's more of the focus.
Right.
That's more of the happy spot.
Yeah. And there are so many different spots. And so it's like if you have a huge long penis, you're probably going to be hitting, the A spot more often, which is kind of up behind the cervix because you have a long penis. If you have one that's like average, you're probably going to be hitting the G spot, and you're going to be hitting all that, how the clit kind of, goes around the opening of the vagina and all that. So you're going to be stimulating all of that. Even if you have smaller than average penis, you're still going to be hitting all that stuff. Most people's G spots aren't that high up. Like we kind of talk about it like it's way up there. It's really not. Like if you can hit it with a finger, you can hit it with a wiener.
Exactly.
Or a small toy or whatever.
How far in do you think the A spot is? For those who don't know, the female prostate, the little part of the vagina that stimulates squirting.
I'm like, I don't know. Maybe
you're like,
I mean, well, and everybody's different. Like I'm a tall lady and other people are smaller. So it's just about as high up and back as you can go.
Gotcha.
I don't know, 6, 7.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Well, and the vagina is so elastic. I mean,
that's true.
It's hard to, it might be, when the vagina is just like chilling and relaxing, it might be sitting a little lower. And then, once you start pounding and stretching stuff out, I don't know, everything kind of moves around.
Yeah. People forget that things move around. Like, like someone will hit your cervix a few times and your cervix is like, oh yeah. I mean, your uterus is like, well, I guess we're going to move out of the way. And you like move some muscles and it's just like, yeah, exactly. That's the sound it makes.
Yeah.
I just taught my daughter that the other day.
How to do that?
I was like, how to move it, and she was like,
"Oh, how to move your cervix?"
Awesome, yeah, because she didn't.
I thought you meant the sound effect.
Yeah, no, yeah. I tell them, just all sorts of little tips and tricks.
That's great. Now, I actually didn't know you can move your own cervix. How do you do that?
I think
break it down.
I think it's like your pelvic floor muscles or something. I don't know what I'm moving, dude.
Yeah. But
just
somehow
just take your fist and punch it a few times and it'll start moving out of the way. Just kidding.
Interesting. I actually I am so gullible. Is this a scientific fact that you can actually kind of move your cervix with muscles inside? Do we need to Google this?
I do.
Yeah. I believe it. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
doing is knowing.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of like what I'm moving. I think it's pelvic floor stuff, but not the same as a Kegel.
Yeah.
A little higher.
Right.
Maybe into the ab region.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
We're just one Google away, but I won't go
We're
down that
one Google
wormhole.
away. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can figure that out later. Someone who is knowledgeable about medicine maybe can write into us and be like, "You fools, what you're doing is this."
I know. We should have Marcia on speed dial.
I know, totally.
Like, so we can just be like, break it down, help us out.
Ask a doctor.
Ignorance ain't always bliss.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bliss is ignorant. All right, so next question.
Next
and this is great
question.
because you were talking about the excitement of and the thrill of dating someone new and the exploration.
Yes.
This one is, how do you deal with watching a partner have strong NRE, which will refresh your memory, new relationship energy. Yeah, that's right. With a partner. This is really hard. This person's really struggling with it. They're asking, how do we deal with it? How do we accept it? And they're just looking for suggestions.
How does he accept the new relationship energy of, this is the question as we were sitting here that I started reading. Now, let me get this straight. It's like the woman has a best friend, right? Mm-hmm. You might just want to read the question.
Oh, the question is, how do you deal with watching a partner have strong new relationship energy with a new partner?
Oh, that was
the question.
It.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So basically, let's say you're in a poly relationship, you have a partner, they start dating someone else, and they start getting that butterfly feeling, and they're all excited. And like, how do you manage your own feelings around their excitement?
Right.
Oh, that's hard.
That's what that long question was about. Was just that.
No, this was the second question.
Oh, okay.
It was just the shorty. The short question. Yeah. That's okay. Well, that's really hard. I would say go ahead and let yourself have feelings about it. Feel
radical acceptance.
Yeah.
First,
try and feel where your fear is. So, are you afraid of losing something? Are you afraid of losing their time? Are you afraid of not feeling special? Are you afraid of them moving on to someone else, deciding that they want to be monogamous with this person because they're so special or something like that?
Yeah.
And kind of get in touch with what exactly are the words behind those feelings. Because the feeling is going to be just sick to your stomach. You're just going to be like, oh, I feel so horrible.
Resistance and,
and scared. So it's going to bring up a lot of feelings. So I guess the thing is to just really dive into what's behind that? What are the words behind those feelings? And I know Teresa is a firm believer too. I journal like a motherfucker, and I know you do too. And this is how I survive. This is how I get under all my feelings. Yeah, I see your journal, and I'm like,
this is my big book. That, this is the first thing I do in the morning. Is sit down with that guy,
totally,
and do some brain drain and
some brain drain,
intention setting.
I love that. I do mine at night. So, and I think it works anytime something's coming up for you. So whether it's intention setting for the day, for me, it's more of a release that I have every night.
Yeah.
It's to get rid of everything and hopefully start the next day fresh.
Yeah. I have a separate journal for nighttime, and it's just, but that one's the one that's more, it's small, and my entries are more about, like knowing about the negativity bias we have. And there's something in the brain called the reticular activating system that's sort of like basically whatever you focus your attention on, that becomes the majority of like your emotional experience. And so science says that at night, it's really important to write about what went well that day. Things that you appreciate, things you're grateful for, and to get into an emotionally connected state with what went well that day. Because then that negativity bias is kind of shut down, and this reticular activating system becomes more positively focused, which is kind of the seed of happiness, So
Totes.
Yeah, that's why I keep my two separate journals. This is my Mount St. Teresa journal. It's just like everything goes in this, and this is where I emotionally vomit. That's awesome. It's got a lot of.
You should have a place. Everyone needs a place to vomit.
Totally.
You need a place to vomit, and it doesn't need to be on another person. It can be on paper.
Yeah. I mean, there are some pages in this where it looks like someone with Tourette syndrome. Like just,
I have the same.
You get it all out. Fuck.
Fuck, shit, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
I wrote the same song in mine really recently. Yeah. Fuck me? No, fuck you. This is the place where you can be a shit-tossing primate,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And it's really important to, when you're writing in your journal, a lot of people make the mistake of writing in it because they're afraid it's going to be found, or that they're almost like writing their life story. That's not it. It's not as therapeutic. This is the place for you to be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't be afraid anyone's going to see it, because if they do, shame on them for looking.
Exactly.
Yes.
And yeah, they might back to that.
Back to our NRE friend.
Yeah.
I just got a really funny text.
Focus, Sharp. Focus. Sorry. Listen to ADD telling you, focus. Don't look at your text. Yeah. Well, first, I'm sure that everyone's. Do you think this person is familiar with compersion? Like, I'm sure most of our listeners and friends know about the act of comperting, because jealousy is about, not to sound critical, because I have all the compassion in the world. Jealousy is a horrible thing to feel.
I get the jellies.
Totally. Yeah, we all do, I think. And that jealousy is about, it's a self-centered concern of, I'm going to be losing what I love. I am afraid that I'm going to lose all those things you mentioned. Time with this person, their attention, or worst fear is they're going to like them better and they're going to leave me. And then I'm going to have to watch them go off into the sunset together and write, fuck you in my journal 1,000 times, stabbing the pen on the page. Yeah. It can happen.
Yeah. That might happen.
Yeah. So the act of comperting is to try to get over those self-absorbed fears and empathetically imagine your loved one, that, you love them so much, you want them to be, feeling all the most wonderful feelings. So you sort of get in your mind and actively try to connect with that and be happy for them. And just focus on that. Reticular activating system. Don't focus on the negative thoughts. They'll grow.
Yes, it's true. And your fears. And a great exercise that Mom taught me about fears that have nothing to do with, relationships and new relationship energy, but I think could still work here, is that you say, let's say, I'm so scared. Okay, what are you scared of? I'm scared that he's going to fall in love with her. Okay, so what happens if he falls in love with her?
Right. Mom calls that pulling the string.
Yeah, pulling the string.
Yeah.
So you have a sweater with a string hanging off of it. You keep pulling that string and find out where that string goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he falls in love with her, what happens then? I'm afraid that he's going to want to spend all of his time with her. Okay, so if he spends all of his time with her, what happens then? You just keep pulling and pulling. I'm going to be lonely. Okay, so you're worried about being lonely. What happens when you feel lonely? Where does your mind go when you're feeling lonely? Oh, I feel like nobody loves me, or, whatever. Keep pulling the string and see where that goes. And once you kind of hit that nut, that core fundamental, like, kind of thought that's like really where that fear maybe is coming from.
Yeah.
Then sit with that and feel how scary it is.
Right.
But then, the most awesome part of it, you sit with it and then you survive.
Yeah.
And the survival feels really good.
Yeah. And that when you pull that string, I mean, as you keep pulling it and answering the next question, then what's going to happen? Then what's going to happen? At the end of that string usually is just like we're coming up against the fear of abandonment, being alone, which we associate with death. And then at the end of that, it's like, that's the worst thing. And we don't even really know, if death's bad. I have a lot of friends that have had near-death experiences, and they say it was the most awesome thing ever. And who knows, but anyway, the bottom line is at the end, when you keep pulling the string, there's kind of nothing there. It's like the monster under the bed. It's just you standing with a big pile of string, naked with your tits hanging out because you just unraveled your sweater. So that's not so bad.
To expose my titties. Whoa. Pull this string as you walk away.
As you walk away.
Are we ready for a new question? I feel like we did. I think we did all right with that last one.
Yeah, we're blasting through them.
We got cola blast.
And the other thing too that I would say about that the jealousy thing is, I think that it's a wonderful thing if you're using nonviolent communication to to speak with your loved one
Mhm.
about that in a vulnerable way, not like look for,
Mhm.
you did this wrong and that's why I feel this way, but to be honest about that vulnerability, because it's actually an expression of
Mhm.
your love. Like, I love you, I'm afraid of losing you. And
Mhm.
to ask for comforting, ask for
Mhm.
reassurance. I think,
Mhm.
when you own your jealousy and
Mhm.
just say, you didn't do anything wrong, this is just coming up for me, and
Yeah.
to literally ask for reassurance. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
think to do that. So
Yeah.
asking for it, and that's a great way, I think, of connecting on the heart plane and soliciting empathy and sidestepping, creating more war and distance and a break in rapport, which is what you're really afraid of when you're feeling
Mhm.
jealous.
Yeah. That is one of my major fears when I'm feeling jealousy is am I going to turn into a jerk to this person
Right.
because I feel injured by them,
Mm-hmm.
and am I going to try to injure them in return? And
Mm-hmm.
that's really the worst.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
worst thing you can do.
Esther Perel talks about too that there's a lot of like unspoken agreements that we go into monogamy with. And one of them, it's, at the heart of jealousy. She says that we tend to get into a relationship and make that unspoken agreement that, like, now that we're in a monogamous relationship, I'm going to take care of you and protect you from that ugly, jealousy feeling.
Mhm.
And I'm going to pretend that I'm not attracted to other people ever.
Yes.
And, and then you're going to do the same for me. We're going to take care of each other's egos here.
Yeah.
And so
So true.
doing that, the great thing is, you end up getting to face the monster under the bed, which is
Mhm.
usually just your dildo that fell down there or something. So, there's nothing under there.
It's down there going.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a growling monster. You just let your vibrator go. And it's
Totally
rolling around on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's such a good point. Yeah, because it is, and you can absolutely love someone and know, like, let's say in monogamy, how that works, where you're like, I promise not to make you feel jealous. Like, it can be absolutely true where you're like, I don't want anyone else because I know they're not you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the same as being like, I'll never be attracted to anyone else. There's feeling the attraction, and then there's feeling the desire to act on it.
Right. Like,
And they're different.
yeah. Yeah. Like Esther Perel, she says that, like, monogamy isn't necessarily normal. It's a choice. It's a
Mhm.
practice.
Mhm.
So that's what
Yeah.
we're really doing in monogamy, is practicing that. And then when you step outside of that, you're practicing that. And it's, again, as I've referred to us as like canaries in the mine shaft,
Mhm.
it's a really courageous thing to do.
Yeah.
And,
It
it's
is.
a lot of people avoid it because of their fear. But the truth is that there's no promises that even with monogamy and not dealing with it is going to be the thing to give you longevity. That's what everyone
Right.
ultimately wants is,
Right.
I think, well, deep down, everyone wants the connection and they want the relationship to work
Mhm.
and be loving. But, in the long run, there's no guarantee that just denying all of this aspect of ourselves, that and the longevity you might get if you stay in denial could really suck. Because
Yeah.
then you're in a prison of denial.
Yeah.
And when you just start to like open up together and create dialogue around it.
Oh my God.
You know?
You just reminded me of something I watched this weekend, because I do love nerding out on this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was about monogamy.
Mhm.
And it was Why You'll Marry the Wrong Person. And I have to
By
send
Esther
this.
Perel?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's what is the guy's name even? The School of Life. Okay, Why You Will Marry the Wrong Person. I'm going to
With
send
Lewis
this.
Howes. Lewis Howes is the
That guy. Is that him?
uh,
It's so funny, and it's so perfectly
I
gets
recognize him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen him on TED Talks.
it gets at our like kind of why we make the choices that we make when we're choosing partners. It's that going for the familiar,
Right.
kind of like the familiar wounds. Like you're saying, oh, I was wounded this way as a child, and so I'm going to go for someone who wounds me in the exact same way, and I don't even recognize the attractiveness of someone who doesn't wound me in that particular way. They might do it in a totally different way, and
yeah.
I don't find that attractive.
Right. Like we confuse a lot. I've heard this theory before. Maybe I've seen that. But
I'm going to send it to both you and Michael, and maybe we can put it up as a link here.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I think it's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I think and it's also very funny. He is hilarious.
Maybe this was him. Did he say this? Because I heard this recently in like the last couple of weeks that essentially if you someone that you're instantly attracted to is typically the person that you should not be with. You know, and because it's, a lot of the times it is because we, from our wound, our archetypal family wounds that we have, we confuse anxiety with love. That excitement, we're looking for excitement, but a lot of us confuse, anxiety, the anxiety we got from, not having that attachment, that human attachment confirmed in ways we needed to give us a sense of security and well-being.
Yeah.
So we look for people that replicate that feeling of anxiety. And when you can't really attach to someone, then it's just like a subconscious biological drive you have to get attached to them. Because, nature is saying you're not safe in the tribe unless you're attached to everybody. So you're driven to try to get that person's attachment.
Yeah.
Hence the excitement.
Yeah.
It's hard to be excited about something that's right there that you have. It's what you don't have that, gets your dopamine motivated, going. And
the new car. The new car.
Right. The thing I don't have.
Yeah. The other thing that he said that was really interesting is that there's this implied agreement that we should, like, someone who really loves you should understand you and you shouldn't have to explain yourself ever. And I thought that was really interesting because I know I've made that mistake so many times in the past. Like, it's as if someone's being obtuse, just trying not to understand me because they don't understand me. And it's like, no, it really is our job to explain how our mind works, how our emotions work to other people that we're in relationships with.
Right.
That's part of the work of relationships.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Agreed.
I recommend watching it. It's 22 minutes long, but it's also very entertaining. I listen to it in the shower.
Awesome.
All right. So next question. We're to number 3,
darling.
I'm getting frustrated. Oh,
do tell.
My husband and I have always been swingers, but are new to poly. My husband agreed to me having 2 nights a week with my boyfriend, but with a curfew on one of those nights. And the other night is an overnight, but it can only be at our house. So, okay. So she gets 2, she or he,
notes.
They get 2 nights a week of dates. One has a curfew. The other has you can do it, but it's got to be under our roof. The last time he slept over, my boyfriend, my husband stormed out of the house and stayed out for several hours. Now he's moody and wants to lay in bed all day. Let me tell you, this feels strikingly familiar.
I just had an internal like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Way to trigger Shar with that one.
I've been here. Let me tell you what I think.
Yeah.
I think that your husband was okay with you having sex with other people, but not necessarily comfortable with you having an intimate relationship with someone else. And so, that tells me that you guys you're outside of his comfort zone right now.
Right. I sense a lot of fear in this too.
Yeah, exactly. Thing. It's when someone's being an a-hole on the outside, it usually means their internal world is upside down. They're not feeling great inside. They're not being an a-hole just to, I guess I'm calling your husband an a-hole. I'm sorry.
Well, and what? Of course, like all the psychology and, that I read, what comes up for me is attachment theory, which we were just talking about. Because when people are feeling insecure and they don't have a real sense of self-worth, I mean, that's what secure people do is they have a good sense of self-worth, and so they communicate their needs and their feelings with more ease. But if you don't have that sense of self-worth and that ease of communicating your feelings and needs, then you start to act out and do this sounds like a protest plea.
Exactly what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
So he's having a hard time. He's experiencing jealousy. He may fight that word. He might say, I'm not jealous.
Yep.
It's that you did something wrong, even though he can't find one rule that you broke. It's that the way that you smelled when you did it was wrong or something, So it's
totally.
He's protest pleading.
Yeah.
And that does mean that he's feeling threatened right now. And jealousy isn't logical. It never is. It's
Mhm.
not predictable. You don't know when it's going to come up. You might feel like you're going to get jealous and then it doesn't happen. And then other times you think you're fine and you're
Yeah.
not fine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my advice to him actually would be, don't make the overnights at your house.
Yeah.
That seems really hard to me. That would
Yeah.
be hard for me
I
to
get where
be
that's
there.
coming
Yeah.
from too, where it's like, there's probably a sense in his mind of, if it's here, I feel like I have more control over it. Like
Mhm.
I get to monitor it. I get to be
Mhm.
closer to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you that's sounds like a huge catalyst for
Yeah.
being too close. And at this point,
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to deal with his feelings. He doesn't know how to self-soothe,
Mhm.
acknowledge the jealousy for what it is,
Yeah.
self-soothe, get support, get distance so he can even like focus on other things. How can you not
Totally.
focus on something that's right there
I
in your
know.
house?
Yeah, it's like part of your house suddenly is your partner's love nest with someone else. And I think
Mhm.
people who've been doing this for a really long time, they can probably get there. They can get
Right,
to that
that's a
point
good
where it's
point.
like, yeah, you can be in the tryst room or something like that.
Yeah.
And that feels groovy and everyone's fine with it because you're feeling super secure.
Right, but
But
that's not what's going on here.
that's not what's going on here.
Yeah.
So I think some maybe ways, it sounds like, first of all, there's some repair work that needs to be done with him. And I would say, like, maybe schedule some fun things with him, make some plans with him that remind him that he is special. So
Mhm.
maybe you're out of the habit of having special date nights. Maybe one of his favorite things to do with you is to go hiking or something like that. Like, go
Yeah.
out of your way to remind him that he is still really special. And that
Mhm.
doesn't mean like, being like, "Oh, baby, I'm so sorry," and da 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 da. It's like he's having his feelings and you're having your feelings, and also make sure you're watching your new relationship energy, that it's not too
Yeah.
high around him.
Which is another reason maybe to not have it in the house.
Totally. Yeah. And yeah, great reason. And then remind him of what you value about him.
Mhm.
And remind yourself what you value about him
Yeah.
too, because it's really easy to get frustrated with a partner who's acting out like that. So
Mhm.
remind yourself and him what you value about him.
Right.
And don't ever compare them. I'm
Yeah.
not assuming that anyone would, but don't ever be like, what I love about you that he doesn't do is this, that, and the other. Because then
Right.
he starts thinking you're running a tally in your mind.
Right. Right.
And that doesn't make anyone feel secure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What smacks me in my sort of intuition is to actually create some more distance in the relationships. Like I
Mhm.
think that in our modern the ideal of monogamy, I see that there's a loss of individuality. A lot
Mhm.
of the times it's codependent,
Yeah.
and that we tend to confuse this idea of transparency
Mhm.
with like it's like everyone, I feel like, is healthier in relationship when we are allowed to have our privacy and our individuation.
Mhm.
And so a lot of the times in monogamous relationships, people just lose that.
Yeah.
They just become codependently enmeshed.
Mhm.
And so to be able to kind of create more supportive boundaries around privacy
Yeah.
in that regard. And,
Exactly.
that way it's like if he doesn't have to see it,
Mhm.
then it will be less alive in his,
Totally.
psychosphere.
It's hard to watch sometimes
Yeah.
if you're not feeling super good.
And the other thing that I was just thinking about this earlier today, that I hope, I don't have a lot of experience with open relationships, but I hope that a lot of people remember how important it is to continue to nurture that primary relationship
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
to, find out what your partner's love language is and make sure you're feeding that relationship. Make sure that
Yeah.
you're actually speaking your appreciation. Assume it's hard for them. Assume
Mhm.
that it's going to be bringing up jealousy.
Yep.
And I also think that creating a safe, loving, empathetic container around acknowledging and talking about the jealousy
Yeah.
would be really a beautiful thing.
That it would be. That's kind of next level shit. It's
Mhm.
awesome and beautiful, and I think that we can all strive to get there and
Yeah.
to go. God, I was really surprised by how jealous I was feeling, and it really hit me on this primal level, and I felt my body reacting. And, it was interesting. It was really hard for me. I had to sit there and I wanted to do things like, gamble or drink excessively, whatever it
Yeah.
is that your response is to try and soothe yourself or numb out.
Yeah.
And just try to have that conversation, because then you're really, again, you're working on your alliance with your partner, and you're inviting them in instead of pushing them out. And usually what happens with jealousy is that you want to push someone away because it hurts.
Right.
You're like, you injured me, go away. And instead we challenge you to invite them in.
Yeah.
Invite them closer and to say, this is why it hurts. I'm still willing to do this because I feel like it's really rewarding. And I do love the fact that you seem happier as a person. And maybe I didn't like how happy you were on Tuesday night, but in general, you're happier, and that benefits us.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I squirreled on a thought. I was like, whoa,
it's okay.
I should have written it down.
Squirrel away.
Yeah.
Maybe while you're de-squirreling, I'll talk about another thing is, I think it would be really good for you and your husband to look at your agreements. It sounds like what happened is your husband gave a yes that he wasn't fully comfortable with. And so I'd love to see you go back and look at your agreements and find a yes. You might even have to dial back for a little while. Like maybe the overnight doesn't happen or something like that. You might have to dial back to a yes that you're both comfortable with and take baby steps for a little while.
Right.
Until everybody's comfortable and you can move together.
Yeah. And I can't say enough about nonviolent communication, like especially anyone who's going into this arena where you're really digging deep and challenging a lot of things that we have chosen not to deal with in this culture. That being able to communicate about your depth of feelings and fears and pains nonviolently, where you own your own feelings and don't project it on the other person, because then, that's what starts to kick you down the path of manifesting the thing you fear the most, which is opening up and inviting someone else in, is going to be the beginning of the end of us and our rapport and our trust and our safety and our closeness.
Yep.
So, but it can be a catalyst to deepen.
Yeah.
It's a tool or a weapon if you hold it right. So, Ani DeFranco quote.
If you hold it like this, but if you hold it like this.
Like that.
And one more thing. I had a note about this. I do want to say the Jealousy Handbook is a good book for anyone who's new into poly, swinging, ethical non-monogamy, any sort of opening up. It's very challenging. It will probably make you cry, and it will probably make you angry at times, because you have to do things like imagine your partner having sex with someone else, and you're imagining it and you're like, I'm okay. And then they're like, and imagine after sex, they fall asleep in each other's arms and you're like, I'm not okay. So it's like, but you do like these mental exercises to prepare yourself and to prepare yourself for what comes up there, so that you can actually do it as a hypothetical before you even actually get to the point of it becoming a reality. Yeah. So I really recommend doing the Jealousy Handbook before you get into it. But if you're already into it and jealousy is coming up, try that.
Yeah. And you know what I always recommend, being a total book junkie, podcast junkie, is that a lot of the time when I want to share particular information, and, I listen to a lot of like audible.com books, and some of them are like 9 to 13 hours. And so a lot of people don't take me up on the recommendation. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. If we look on like YouTube or something like that, look up the author's name and the subject, you can usually find a condensed little speech about it, because they go out in the world and, while they're making their books, they're, making videos about their theories, and then they're promoting their book. And so they're condensing everything. Yeah. And in a world of squirrels, it's really helpful to have those just like lectures and that don't have all like the case studies.
Yep.
And that's how I often feel like when I'm getting into a book, is just like, oh, the case studies, just tell me what to do and what not to do. And just like, I wish there was a Cliff Notes version of every book.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
Save
great.
So much time.
Like someone could just go through and highlight it for you. And you
do this,
like,
don't do that. This is why you do this. This is why you should do that. That's it's nice and simple.
Ooh, and another thing that just came to my mind is there are some workshops that I've done with Sex Positive Portland. They're also offered through Empowered Pleasure, which both of those are groups on Facebook and Meetup. And there are two classes. One's called jealousy from the inside. The other's called jealousy from the outside. So first one is what to do when you're feeling jealous. The second is what to do when your partner is feeling jealous. Those classes are amazing. They're
You took both?
Yeah, I did take both.
Nice.
Yeah. Strangely, my partner who was feeling jealous didn't do the jealousy from the outside.
And it didn't work out. I wonder why.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure.
I'm talking to
Go
you.
finger. Yeah, right.
Gold finger.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so I think that was the last thing. So
That's probably pretty good.
Yeah, I feel complete.
I feel complete too. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Dear Bawds, I need help.
What is it? We're here.
I met a fantastic new guy who consensually, let's say that, left bruises on me, easily visible unless I wear a full bodysuit with a turtleneck. I need these bruises to go away quickly. Wow. And that's very challenging. I'm a lady who bruises easily. And I typically do not like to have bruises left on me, but it happens sometimes.
Well, it makes me wonder where they are. I want to know where they are because it's like if they're on your face and neck, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, well, wear pants and long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
But that's probably not where they are.
It might be some, and actually I've had friends who are like, oh my God, I just had this big BDSM session and I have to go see my gynecologist on Tuesday. And like they have bruises all over their legs and they have to go in and explain like, this was consensual and I actually really liked it. I mean, you have to think.
I went bungee jumping. The harness
and landed like this in the splits. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a gynecologist has seen everything. I hope.
Yeah, totally. Seen and smelled everything.
And and if they hadn't seen it already, they'll see it now. But
exactly.
The things that I can say that have worked for me is and not around bruising so much, but around swelling and just kind of like your body's inflammatory response is arnica. You can take tablets, and then also there's a topical. I'm not as convinced about the topical as I am about the topical's more almost for like pain relief or something. But the tablets are great for reducing swelling and kind of like, just moving your body through.
Yeah.
I think vitamin K was one, and then also vitamin C with rose hips.
Okay. For your rosy hips.
For your rosy hips.
Yes.
Those are things. Otherwise, I really don't know. I'm not a master of these things. I don't love getting massive bruises.
Right.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah. Well, there's micro damage, so it's hard. So you can do some things to, I think, flush the blood out, and to reduce inflammation. The first thing that comes to my mind is Epsom salt baths.
Oh, yeah.
To reduce inflammation. But then the other thing is effleurage massage, kind of trying to work the blood through, using these long fluid moving strokes. I think that can help a little bit.
You are so right. Because actually, I just remembered when I was in Kung Fu and I used to get bruises all the time. I used to actually like vigorously massage the bruise, which does not feel awesome, but it does help break it up, move it through. So kind of a
fluid moving stroke.
Fluid moving stroke.
Yes, the thing that got you into this situation with the bruises, the fluid moving strokes. Now you got to turn it around on yourself there a little bit.
Move it through.
I kind of wonder about vibration too. Another one of the things that got you into it because, vibration is going to cause like, vasodilation and endorphins and things like that. So maybe stick your vibrator on it.
Try all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a short one again because we have like 10 minutes or so.
We like the shorties.
Oh, I like this one. This one's funny.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like I'm in the military with all of these acronyms and abbreviations. This might be a stupid question, but what is OPP? All right. So back in the 90s, OPP meant other people's pussy. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me.
Down with OPP.
All right. Yeah. But in this, I think what they're talking about, because in ethical non-monogamy and swinging, polyamory, stuff like that, there are many cis males who have a one penis policy, who are like, there can be in group sex, there can be as many, vaginas as possible. Love the boobies, love the vajayjays, but there can only be one penis. And that's a choice. That is like totally.
I'm a little,
up to
wait,
them.
break this down for me. So OPP means a one penis policy.
Yep.
And it meaning that if they can only be the only penis in the room or the only penis that's sexually active or engaged.
They're the only penis in the room, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm, kind of like, it sounds a little patriarchal to me. So maybe not my favorite policy, but
unless it goes the other way and there's also the one pussy policy.
I think that
which is going to be harder to come by.
Yeah, and I think that's still kind of left over from bisexuality being so much more accepted in women than it is in men, and I am seeing so many more people come out as bisexual males, bisexual cis males, and and for anyone who doesn't know, cis is cisgendered, so not transgendered males.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't saying that for you. I was saying it for
I totally agree that it's part of the patriarchal thing, the homophobia, and anything that our culture sees it as like demasculating or emasculating.
Yep.
And which is bullshit.
That's bullshit.
I know.
You could take two penises and make an Eiffel Tower, and that's totally masculine.
Yeah. Like I've had so many ex-boyfriends, so many. And the ones I'm most impressed with are the ones that, who identify as being like cisgendered heterosexual men. That they're the ones that actually like tried it a little bit and was like, nah. To me that smacks of like having more actual security in your masculinity. That you can try it on and see if it works for you.
They'd be like, yeah, I sucked a dick. I wasn't good at it. I didn't really enjoy it.
I didn't like it.
All right.
Yeah. I like getting a tugboat to Tuna Town a little more.
Yeah. To each their own. But I think it's up to their partners to decide, hey, does the OPP work for me too?
Right. Man, if that happens, then good on you. And a man can dream. I don't know how, likely or frequent that's going to be, but fucking, if you don't ask, the answer is no. That's the thing I remember.
Yeah. That is true. So you got to ask for what you want.
Yep.
You won't get
good
it.
on you, sir.
Oh, we have another short one. Okay.
In
an ethical, non-monogamous relationship, what would be considered cheating? Well,
up to the individual.
Yeah, I think that's based on your agreements.
Absolutely.
And if you find yourself obfuscating or lying or hiding the truth in any way, that's probably cheating.
That is actually, I think, one of the main fundamental, what's the word?
Tenets.
Thank you. That is the word I was looking for. You can read my mind through my entire life. It's amazing. But
it's because our anuses are connected through a 6-foot-long tube.
Blowholes. Yeah. But yes, exactly. It's one of the tenets of infidelity is, lying, even if it's lying by omission.
Yeah.
Secrecy, lying. At least secrecy. So.
Yep. Yeah. I'd say that's all cheating is, like it is, you have agreements and you're not doing the agreements and you're not telling your partner that you're not doing the agreements. That's cheating.
I think so. Yeah. I guess it's probably also limited to being with another human being. I was going to say, if you like to fuck donuts in your car, and that's a secret of yours, that's what I kind of put that under privacy.
Cheating. Yeah. You're allowed to do that. You can't get an STI from a donut.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, unless you, I don't know. I've seen some weird donuts at Voodoo Donuts that I've looked at and I'm like, no. That's a herpes donut. I know that. The one with the red hots on it.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I would not be having sexy time with that one.
The gonorrhea glazed donut.
This
maple
tastes
booty bar.
Funny. Okay, so I have to tell you, I'm trying to find a way to tell this story that keeps everyone's privacy intact. Let's just, okay, so I have my nose ring here. Not too long ago, someone said
Put it in my dick hole.
No.
Okay.
They said there's something on my balls. They pull us up and they're like, "Oh my god, it's metal!" And I'm like, "Holy shit, that's my nose ring."
You were going fishing for some nutsack.
Like, wow, the things that I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't feel it slip out, but
Wow.
apparently, you know,
It must have gotten like noosed by a little ball pube,
Totally.
little ball hair. Butt
a
dragged
ball
it.
pube. It was like fishing. It was like
A
deep sea
scrote
fishing.
squirrely.
Weep.
Yeah. The scrote
Oh
squirrely.
my god.
Yeah.
That's so
That's
that's the
great.
text I got that cracked me up real bad.
That reminds me also of another story. I hope I haven't already said
we
this
have
before.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Was when you were married to your first husband, the baby
Oh my-
daddy.
You didn't
Yeah.
tell this.
Okay. And we had like some kind of like a family reunion event.
Oh my god.
And remember back in the day when everyone was like piercing everything. I mean, people still have it
The
pierced.
90s,
but
yeah.
90s, man. It was like pierce everything. Ah.
Yeah.
And so he had, he had the Prince Albert piercing that went through the wee hole.
Two frenums.
Two frenums, which those are the side chunk ones. Those don't go through the
They
urethra.
go through
They
the
just
front part. The skin in the front of the penis.
like the dick chest.
Yeah, the dick chest.
Okay. And then so anyway, and those are the ones that have little balls that you screw on, like the post goes through.
Yeah.
So family reunion ends and is ending and he walks up to me, your ex, and he's like, teabag, you got to do me a favor. And I was like, what is it? And that's when I'd moved back in going through massage school when I was 22 with Mama Dale.
Yeah.
So then he's like, do me a favor. When everybody leaves, you gotta look under the refrigerator because my frenum piercing ball came unscrewed and I saw it roll under the refrigerator. And so I did my best. And by the way, this is the same family reunion where I had those Benoit balls in my coochie.
Oh, yes.
And I was trying to do some coochie tightening exercises. It's quite an enlightening day for Mom. And then so basically when I went to the bathroom, I totally relaxed and they both fell out into the toilet seat. They were the ones you could spin in your hand and they'd go, gung, 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 gung. Yeah. So they both fell into the toilet and went, gung, 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 and we're spinning around in the toilet. And when I came out of the bathroom, Mom was looking at me. She's like, what was that noise in there? And then me being a bad liar, I was like, it's just these Benoit balls I had in my coochie. What? So anyway,
oh my God.
Why'd you do that? So then everyone leaves. And then I get down on the floor with a flashlight. And I'm looking under the fridge. And then I hear Mom's voice, Teresa, what are you doing down there? And I'm like, ring. Oh no. And then can't lie. So I was like, I'm looking for Jay's dick piercing on the floor into the fridge. What? So then I had to explain to her all about the frenum piercing and the silver ball screwed on. And I did find it.
You did? Yay.
Yeah. Yay. Happy
You
Easter,
saved the
everybody.
day.
Yeah. Gave it back to me. I guess
Yes.
they're expensive. I didn't know, but.
Yeah, they can be really, especially the ones that are less common, I guess, are kind of
Real
spinning.
silver.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was so funny. I remember that. That's back when I was vanilla.
You had your nipples pierced. You weren't that vanilla.
Did. Okay, yeah, that's
you were
right,
just
I did.
piss flaps deep in monogamy back then.
Yeah, totally.
Trying to live the dream.
Yeah,
Make it all happen.
I was living the dream.
Yeah, but
of
now you're living
monogamy.
the cream dream, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thanks for
Totally.
letting me squirrel there. That was a fun one.
That was awesome.
Do we have more questions?
Oh my God. Let's see what time it is.
See.
Oh, we have 2
Oh
minutes.
my God. 2 minutes.
Oh, I was thinking of what are some more military sounding abbreviations that we could explain for people.
Military sounding abbreviations.
Yeah, so OPP, there's E&M, ethical non-monogamy. We all know that one.
We should have a vocabulary list that we put up. And
that's a great idea.
All right, that's the point of this conversation is we're going to create a vocabulary list.
Yeah,
for
I
the
bet
show.
There's one that exists somewhere that we could kind of start with. And
Plagiarize. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Totally
That's what we're all about.
plagiarize, yes.
Yeah. But we got through the questions.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, there are 2 left, but they're really long. And so I kind of think we should save them
it
for the next time. Yeah.
Bookmark.
Yeah.
Sorry, beloveds, but we have to respect the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so never mind then. Don't read them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Don't tease me.
looking, and I'm not going to
Unless
tease
you're
you
going to
with
read it to
anything.
me. Tell me another story.
Tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 minute. Oh my
1
God.
minute.
Okay. This is
Yeah.
the spiel time though.
This is
Okay,
spiel time. Let's do it.
if you see this on YouTube,
Mhm.
please hit the like button. And if you happen to be listening on Apple or something like that, if you start giving us reviews, like
Mhm.
actually care to respond and help to promote us to, Google AdSense and stuff like that, we might one day be making money instead of going in the hole. Well,
What?
she is.
Going in my
Yeah.
hole.
And again, if you like and subscribe on YouTube, that helps us. If you go to Patreon, you can actually give her money to keep all the camera and lights on that she paying for.
Yeah.
Because she a rich bitch. No, she's not actually. Which is why we want the money, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just more poor, which is why you're paying for it. Yeah. But
It's all
yeah.
relative.
Yeah. Am I missing anything?
Yeah.
Ask
subscribe.
questions at
yeah.
was that an orgy at gmail.com.
Indeed. That's where to send us more questions.
Yep.
Or
Questions,
comments,
suggestions, ideas. We love it all.
nudie pictures. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you want to send us.
I
We're
could
great.
turn them into etchings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Get your very own etching.
Your etching dick pic.
Yeah.
Get your dick pic or your twat pic. Your pussy pic etched in rainbow waxboard by Teresa.
Oh, your rainbow hard on.
Yeah, exactly.
You two could have a rainbow boner.
The rainbow
Rainboner.
Rainboner. Paint your rainboner. Your coochie rainbow connection, connection. Whatever. Yeah. So that's it. We did the spiel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's time.
Thanks for being with us today.
Yes.
And we will see you next Tuesday.
Come on, you eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, well, what are you gonna do with this eager beaver, baby of mine? Ooh, I'm always there beside you, no matter where you stop. I'll follow you to movies, even to the barber shop. Now, eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby.